Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Hey, Roxy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Trying to
It's
keep
a
it together.
great Sunday here in Houston, Texas.
Or at least for one of us.
hmm The birds are chirping, and the coffee is brewing.
Mm.
Oh my God, it's our version of cool down here in the South, where
Yeah, it's a whopping 84
it's
degrees.
an whopping cool 84 degrees for us. Oh my God, because that's all we can pray for sometimes.
No,
is,
seriously.
is to get like a nice 80-degree fall weather for us. I know up in the Easties in the north, you're probably riding around 60, if not lower.
That beautiful weather that we have to wait till February
You
for.
get to see the leaves turn green. I mean, turn amber and
Yellow and
brown and
orange.
yellow, and for us, they just stay green because it's hot year round. So you know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
get what we can. It was so warm and fall-like and delightfully cool that I went to Galveston on Friday and hung out at the beach. Why not?
Right.
What else do you do in fall-like weather, right?
We don't have apple orchards around here.
Oh God, that is for sure. That is for sure. But because of the crispness in the air and the beautiful fall weather that the rest of the nation gets to experience, and because spooky season is just a couple of days away, officially October will be here in just a couple of days.
Skeletons.
So we are going to talk about one of actually Roxy's favorite horror movies, and um, just kind of, I don't think we've ever talked about this. So Roxy has a particular favorite horror character and movie that she has even dressed up for in photo shoots.
Mhm.
Like she put on this in character's costume and did a
Twice, actually. I think I've done it twice.
yeah, and did a lovely photo spread with some of her friends and everything. Uh, I give you Nightmare on Elm Street.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Nightmare on Elm Street is Roxy's absolute favorite, and
It
it's
is.
specifically movie number three that's her
Oh,
favorite.
sleep.
Yes, it's her absolute favorite. But her favorite horror character is who is
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger, brought to us by the very talented Mr. Robert Englund.
Englund.
Ingold.
Get
I've
that
had,
right, sir.
yes,
Some respect on
Robert
his name.
Ingold, who was absolutely a brilliant Freddy Krueger. He's also done other stuff. He even premiered well, kind of made a guest appearance in Stranger Things as the father of the little weird upside down world guy who's tormenting everyone, Vecna. So he has a great actor and everything. Um, Done a lot of interesting things. And he started off as what he thought was a comedic actor and became one of the most legendary horror actors ever. However,
Wild.
me and Roxy have a fun story to share about
Story
Mr.
to share.
Ingold. We sure to share about Mr. Ingold and how we met him at
Yeah.
Comic Palooza. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? Or was it last year? It
This
was
was
two
last
years.
year, I
It was
think.
last year. Okay.
Yeah.
So we met the legendary Freddy Krueger himself at Comic Palooza, and it was kind of an interesting situation.
Yeah, because we almost didn't go. And then we heard that he was going to be there. And I was like, oh, we're going.
Yes, so
And
we ended up
end of story, we're
going,
going.
and so we're there, and then we're trying to find out what lane he's going to be in so she can get a picture. And then I go over there to talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, well, he's done." And I was like, "Well, wait a minute. According to this, there's 15 minutes left." And they were just arguing with me about it, and I was like, "They're like, you can't. Just come back tomorrow." And as soon as I hear something like "you can't" and come
Watch me.
back, I'm like, "No."
Absolutely not.
No, you hold my beer. I'll be right back.
Hold this.
So, I walked over there, and Roxy's standing there, and she's you were chatting with some guy who was the attendant for the lanes, right, or something.
Right.
And so I just walked to him, and I was like,
I think
"Which?"
I was asking him like how I could get my
Mhm.
Funko Pop signed or something.
Right. And so then I just walked up to him. I was like, "Which lane is the Freddy Krueger lane?" He's like, "Lane 6." I was like, "Let's go." And so I'm walking, and Roxy
I'm
isn't
just looking
exactly
at him like, what are you doing?
like, "We're gonna go get a picture with Freddy Krueger," and she wasn't, because I think I had come back and I told you that they said that we couldn't get a picture, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck that, we're gonna get a picture." And she wasn't exactly having it in the
I
sense
was
of
like,
like,
no, they said we couldn't
no,
go.
like we're gonna fucking go.
They're gonna get
So
us kicked out of here.
fucking walking down lane 6, no shit. They opened up the curtains for us
He
like we
looks at
were
me and
meant.
he's like, get your ass over here now.
Yep. They fucking spread open the curtains like we were supposed to be there. We walked in. As soon as we walked in to the right, there he is, Mr. Freddy Krueger himself, Mr. Robert Engel.
Yes.
And we took this delightful photo.
You're leaving out the best part.
Which part? Oh, well, that's your story to tell. Go ahead and tell that part. So we get in
We-
there, and now Roxy will take over the story.
yes, he looks over at me and he says, who's your daddy? And I
Right,
wanted to go, you.
right after he wrapped his arm around her with a little claw
Yeah, he
thing.
had the claw thing. He's like, who's your daddy? I was like,
Roxy was just in hog heaven at
I
that point.
was.
She was
I
like,
really
"Oh
was.
my God." And so after that, that's where the fun begins, is like we went back over there, and now it's negotiating getting the pictures because we weren't
Right,
supposed to get the
because we weren't
picture.
supposed to even be in there.
I was like, no, I just took the picture with him, like blah blah blah. Here's this thing. And it was like, and then they're all shocked that there's this picture there. Like, how did you get this? I was like, I was just being
I
a
just
jerk.
went in there.
I was like, what does it matter? I'm here for the picture. Here's my money. Give me my picture. They were like, oh my God, they gave us the picture,
And
but
here is the
and
picture.
here's the picture. You can see, look
Ooh.
at Roxy cheesing. Look at her cheesing.
I was so happy.
Look at that big old Kool-Aid smile.
I know the
Oh,
ring light is messing it up, but
but still, you get the
there you
point.
go. There
Mm.
we go.
I've dropped just a little weight from that. I'm just saying. Anyway, so
You what?
I said I've dropped just a little weight from that photo, but
I
yeah.
have two actually. So,
So,
woo.
so see, there we are.
I think
Uh,
that picture, I was like, oh God,
yeah, I
we
looked
need
at
to
my
do
stomach in
something.
that picture and I was like, we need to go on a diet, sir.
Me too. When I looked at this, I said, oh, honey,
We're going to start
we got
jog
to do
walking.
something.
So that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so that was our little fun encounter. But now everyone else's encounter. Not everyone gets the chance to meet the one of the horror kings here. And so
No.
we watch these wonderful movies like Nightmare on Elm Street. And so Nightmare on Elm Street is a interesting saga, really. You got several
Hmm.
movies dealing with it, and then you got crossover movies happening with this character too,
Yes.
which has been really interesting. But Nightmare on Elm Street starts off, of course, with uh the first movie, which is just Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's about this demon type of thing. Yeah, I would call him a demon, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
So a demon type thing who is Freddy Krueger. And what he does is he travels or has the ability to travel through people's dreams. And that's the issue. So when people fall asleep, he can attack you and kill you in your dreams. And that is what makes this movie kind of scary because I don't think anyone ever really thought about that concept. What if you're in a state in which you cannot defend yourself
Right.
because it's a dream state? Like, then what? Do you just never sleep again? Which was part of some of the answers in there too,
Hmm.
which made it really interesting because you can't do that. Like, there's no physical way you can just not ever sleep. Even insomniacs at some point
Yeah, I
crash
have to go
out,
to sleep at
you
some
know.
point.
So it's really, really interesting. It was a really interesting concept. And so then you have the birth of Freddy Krueger and his little mayhem here and there. Now,
Because
the
there There
Huh?
are five Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and then
Hmm.
there's Freddy's Dead, and then the new Nightmare
Yes. And then let's not forget the crossover between Freddy versus
versus
Jason.
Jason.
Yeah, that was so
So
lame, but it was
cheesy,
good at the same
so
time.
stupid,
So
but I liked
stupid.
it. I'm
But
like, but
like
I enjoyed
the
it.
ending was really good too because it's not really over. It was interesting, and I think that was really one of those movies where the fans really wanted that to happen because you know how people like, oh well, what if Superman and Batman get into a fight? Who's gonna win? You know, and then
Hmm.
everyone makes the arguments like, who's going to win? Like, oh well, Batman has this and Superman has this, and I think, at that time, a lot of people were like, you know, if you had these horror characters like Freddy Krueger and Jason, who's gonna win in that? You know, they're both kind of undead. Who would win?
Right.
And so I think it was the matchup that a lot of fans wanted, and it happened. And this is kind of like before the internet is really like the juggernaut that it is now. When that movie, do you have the stats as to when Freddy and Jason came on the screen?
No, let me see.
Yep. So anyway, it was still like it was an. I remember going with my cousin to go watch it, my cousin Frank, and we watched that movie together.
2003.
2003. So see, yeah, internet's still developing into the juggernaut that it is because the internet comes out in the 90s. So yeah, you know, kind of fascinating and interesting. And 25 years later, the internet is a monster.
Yeah.
We cannot live without it. So it's redunculous.
Didn't know Kelly Rowland was in this movie.
Which
Oh,
movie was
yes,
she
she
in?
was.
Which one?
Freddy versus Jason.
Kelly Rowland was in it.
That's what I just said.
I know. Well, no, I was just saying, wow, Kelly Rowland was in it.
Oh, I was like,
Mrs.
I didn't know she was in it.
Destiny's Child, right? Was it?
Yeah, one of
Yeah.
them. That's
Before
crazy.
before their destiny ended. It was destined
Whack.
to end. Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, moving forward. So, Nightmare on Elm Street, you got five of them. Roxy's favorite isn't the first. It isn't. It's number three. Why
Yes.
is number three your favorite out of all of them? Out of the five, why is number three the best for you?
I honestly, I don't know. I really liked that one was always my favorite. There were a few scenes that always really stuck with me.
Hmm.
And the number one scene that messed me up and made me fall in love with this movie was the scene where he takes the kid and like rips his arms and legs open and pulls the veins out and walks him like a puppet and like walks
Oh,
him to the edge of the thing and makes him jump like he dangles him and then cuts the cord and he falls to his death,
wow.
which was so wild. I was like, "Oh my, what is this? What's happening?" And then another scene, there was a girl, which she was my favorite character. She was kind of like a badass,
Hmm.
but she had a drug problem, heroin, I think.
Hmm.
And so in a scene where they're fighting and she's like, "I'm not afraid of you," like she's trying to fight him for real.
Hmm.
And then he's like, they fight for a while, and then there's a scene where he pulls his hands up like in front of his face, like
Hmm.
to show his fingers, and he's like, "Let's get wild" or something. And all of his fingers are syringes,
Hmm.
and he shoves his fingers into his arms and like overdoses her. And
Mm.
and then like the little sores, it like made sores for him on her arms, and they were
Hmm.
just like, I was like, oh.
Oh my God.
So that part freaked me out too. Like there was a lot of different scenes that really freaked me out, and I was just like, oh, and I love that movie ever since.
So it's kind of the visuals and
Yeah, the visuals on that were
the
wild.
creative kills on that too, because
I
you
think
know
that's what it is. It's the creative kills. I'm just like, oh my God,
I
what the
think when you've made it to number three, you kind of have to because number one is always your established movie. Like this is why it's so great, you know. And I think it's the
number one
uniqueness.
is a great one too. That's with Johnny Depp. That's the one he's in.
Oh, okay,
Johnny
and
Depp's in the first one.
and see, I think number one is, of course, you establish what's happening, and I think because
That's
it
the one where he
was,
gets sucked in and then the blood shoots out of the bed.
oh,
That's my favorite scene on that
I bet.
one.
But when you establish it, what happens is like, that's a really unique storyline. So that's kind of scary in itself. And just the concept. Sometimes the concept is more scarier than what you're looking at, too.
Hmm.
And then, of course, number two, the sequels are never that great. I
They're
don't,
not.
sequels are never that great. But then three, I think with the third one, because Freddy Krueger is one of these things that, it develops into uh this saga, right? And
Hmm.
so with number three, you got to bring it. And I think because you've already established the shock of the first one, and then, number two is just continuation of the
Yeah,
first one.
number two was, man, that's the one with the school bus,
I
remember?
think so, yeah. And
Yeah, and it was like,
I think with the third one, you have to bring it and you have to bring it visually. And that's what's happening here, like the controlling them with the puppets and the syringes and all that. So
oh, and two,
visually,
three is when they brought back Nancy from the first
from the
one.
first one, yes. Okay,
Mhm.
I remember they brought back one of the characters too. And I
Mhm.
remember or she was like on all kinds of drugs to kind of keep her awake and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. But I think that's also when they establish who he is and like how he's able to do this.
Hmm.
And the only way
In
to
the first one, yeah.
yeah, and I think the only way to contain him is like to keep telling his story type of thing, right? Or is that the fourth one?
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't
But
remember.
I think they kind of like slack off in the creativity, and it's like the only way to contain Freddy Krueger is like you have to keep repeating his story, or you have to keep reading his story. Because I remember the ending scene, it's like she's reading the script to her daughter, and I'm like,
I don't remember that one. Which one
yeah,
is
it's one of
that?
these things where you had to like the
Amo,
only
which movie is that one? I don't remember this.
it was really weird and it may have been but like the actual director of the movie is in it to explain what it is that kind of controls him, and it
Hmm.
was what's his name? The director is Wes Craven. So, and he explains like the origins of how he's contained, and it's by telling his story over and over. But then they have interesting backstories too as to how he became Freddy Krueger, uh,
Hmm.
you know, how he died, which was the parents of those of
The
the
children.
kids. Yeah. So you got a lot
That's
of
the
it.
one thing that I hate about his character is how he became who he is. I'm like,
Mhm.
ugh, I'm glad
Yeah.
they killed him.
Right, right, because you want him to die because he's a terrible
Yeah.
person. But still, it's kind of interesting. But it's a very interesting story. Like, but it's at some point it becomes a little because they run out of creativity to kind of
Fun fact, the name Fred Krueger was initially the name of a real life bully of director Wes Craven's.
interesting.
Interesting.
Wow, that is a fun little fact right there. Hmm. Like you're a jerk.
I'm gonna make you a horror character.
You're a
You're a
horrible
pedophile that gets
person.
murdered.
Oh my
Oh
God.
shit.
Like, talk about vengeance. A good lesson as to why you should be kind to people because you
Yes, be
never
nice to everyone.
know.
You never know what they're gonna grow up to be. And
Yes,
they
and
turn you into a pedophile that gets murdered and haunts people in their dreams.
yes, and
Ruin your
then
name forever.
yes, just totally fuck your name up to the
Because now,
extent.
can you imagine you introduce yourself and you're like, "Hi, my name's Fred Krueger."
Yeah, like you're gonna
What?
have to like totally, and then you gotta
Yeah.
explain why you're related in the movie, and it's like, oh well, you're a jerk. So
Right. Well, I used to bully that kid. Well,
at some point, you probably have to change your name so you can even get a job type of situation. Like think about that. Like that's totally fucked up.
yeah.
But yeah, it's so that kind of interesting stuff. But I would totally but then after a while the creativity kind of moves out and then that's when you kind of get into this weird stuff.
Yeah, when they did the, what is it, five, when they went to, when Nancy's all grown up and like her dad is fighting him in the junkyard or whatever,
Yeah.
and trying to like kill him.
Hmm.
I was like, this one sucks. Like, even
Yeah.
when the skeleton's fighting, I was like, this is cheesy.
And then
I still watch it though. I still like it.
there you go. You still gotta sit back and watch it. But that's also when this weird stuff like, oh, Freddy versus Jason, like
Yeah.
this needs
Like
to
they were
happen.
grasping.
Yeah, like you're grasping at. It's almost as bad as like when you look at Friday the 13th, and it's like Jason in outer space, and I'm like, oh my God, please stop.
I remember
Oh,
when that one came out, I was like, what?
like how the
Why is he in outer
fuck
space?
is this? Or Jason versus Manhattan. I'm like,
Isn't Jason in outer space? Is that the one with Busta Rhymes?
I think that is. I think that is. That's like you just need to slow your roll, people. Like,
Oh
when
my
the ink
God.
starts drying out, it's time to go on to a new project, you know?
Right. And
Because
then they
that's
tried to make the new one, and he doesn't even look the same.
see, I never saw the new one, so I
He
never
looks
bothered with
weird.
it. So it's one of these things where it's like, who cares? Because it's, you're never going to be the original. So it's like, why fuck with it, you know?
Right.
Because all you're going to do is ruin it, in my opinion. It's kind of like I've never seen a reboot that was better. Other than maybe when they try to reboot one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, that one, the first reboot that they did was good. The one with
Oh
Jessica
yeah.
Biel, that one was good. I will admit that. But that's when you have that rare bit of gold.
Yeah, it's been made so many different times, and only like a couple of them are good.
Yeah, it's kind of like when they try to reboot Hellboy on a different like that failed so
Oh, they tried
bad.
to reboot that?
Yes, with a
Oh, I'm
different
glad I missed
actor,
that.
someone who was not Ron Perlman, and it was terrible. And then they did another reboot of I want to say of Salem's Lot, and that went terribly
Rob
wrong.
Zombies.
Yeah, I was like, that went so bad because you can't fuck with the originals. You really can't. There's a reason why they're originals. You
Right,
just
right.
cannot bring it that same way. But let's just kind of take a quickie looky at something because I have not shared screen yet. So let's do what I do and share screen with you. So here we go. We're gonna just take a quickie looky at some Freddy Krueger, some Nightmare on Elm Street. So Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street. I need to not forget that. But you have a
Mm-hmm.
interesting lineup of cast members who, of course, you have Robert Englund, who is Freddy Krueger, and
Mm-hmm.
then Nancy Thompson as, well, no, Nancy Thompson's the character. Heather Langkamp is her actress. But you have a lot of interesting stuff kind of going on here. Like I love the poster art in all the originals.
Mm-hmm.
They are so good, you
See,
know.
that's number three. I know that one.
I bet you do. So, it's one of these things where it's just like, it's a slasher movie, it's a horror movie. It's just one of these, like teen horror kind of movies
Mm-hmm.
that you just have to kind of love because it's so cheesy, you know. And like, so the first one comes on in 1987,
Ooh, I was a whopping 6 years old.
right? 1994, a year before I graduate high school, is the fourth one. And then you have, oh, sorry, it takes us into different horror movies, which I guess is okay. Uh, 1978, for those of you who are interested, is the first Halloween, the original one.
Mm.
And so like Halloween Kills, that's a reboot of or
So the first
continuation.
one was in 84, the second one was in 85, the
Mhm.
third one was in 87, the fourth one was in 88, the fifth one was 89, Freddy's Dead was 91, and the new Nightmare was 94.
Mm, okay, I'll give it to you. Like some of those numbers didn't quite add up. I was like, wait a minute, that can't be going backwards.
What do you mean?
So,
They didn't go backwards.
oh, maybe I heard him wrong then. I was like,
Yeah,
wait a
I
minute,
think
that can't
so.
be right. So you got a lot
It
of interest,
spans from 84 to 94.
which is 10 years. That's a decade of that, you know. That's pretty damn impressive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them don't get to make it like that. Just kind of searching through Wikipedia and finding cool stuff here. But you have this really great one. And I'm going to say this, I think it's a great one to start off with in the sense for your Halloween spooky
For
season.
spooky season.
Definitely jump into a little Nightmare on Elm Street and then
Yeah,
just kind of go from there. Pick them
that's
out
what I'm
from
gonna put
there.
on.
Yep. I think I'm going to even do a little Nightmare on Elm Street. I know it was one of my cousin's favorites too. So my cousin Frank loved Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
So it was a good one. It really was. But if you have a better horror movie or horror suggestion to start off with, hit us up here at the VCR Show at the VCR Show at gmail.com and our website, thevcrshow.com. And you can always hit up Roxy at her social medias in case you want to do a Freddy Krueger shoot with her, which would be at
On Facebook at Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at PopRocks428, and on TikTok at the Pop Rocks. And Pop Rocks is spelled Poproxx.
And as always, I'm Vara.
And I'm Roxy.
And you've been listening to VCR.
Later.
Bye-bye.